Hello, Boxing Wise here, back with another video. So let's jump straight into it. Today we are going to be talking about the former WBC heavyweight champion of the world, talking about his third fight with the current WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury, who just beat Wilder. Well, I say just, it wasn't just, but who previously beat Wilder in his last fight by knockout to capture the WBC championship. So this is what Wilder's had to say this week when talking to the PBC podcast. He said it's not over regarding his fight with Fury. He said, in my eyes, I don't see Tyson Fury as the champion. It's still going. He ain't the champion yet. We've got one more fight left. So, what it seems to me is Wilder's doing here is he's referring to the trilogy fight, saying Fury's not the champion because they've still got one more fight to even the score. On paper, as Fury got a draw in the first fight, won the second fight, so if Wilder can win the trilogy, which looks like it's going to happen next, unfortunately, but I'll get into that in another video, to even the score with him. So a lot of people are coming out and really discrediting Wilder or slamming him for what is said about Fury not being the champion. Roy Jones Jr., who was of course one of the best boxers in his prime, has came out and slammed Wilder, and he said the guy beat you. You fought a 7-round fight and a 12-round fight. That's 19 rounds, and you probably won. And the other guy, talking about Fury, probably won 15 of the 19 rounds. How can you say he's not a real champion? So I do understand where a lot of these people coming out are slamming Wilder coming from, but the way I'm looking at it is Wilder's doing something in his head where he's getting himself in the right mindset, saying to himself, Fury's not the champion. He's seeing boxing, the champions have to have a championship mindset, which means at any point they have to think, no matter what happens, they're the top of the game. They're on top of the game, sorry. So by Wilder coming out and saying Fury's not the champion, I don't think it's a dig at Fury. I personally just think it's Wilder telling himself he's the real champion, that he had a bad night, and that in the trilogy fight he's going to even it up. The problem is with him telling himself that, there's people telling themselves that they believe they're the champion of genuine belief, but some people also tell themselves the same thing out of just for the sake of saying it, for example, or delusion. Now, since the second Fury Wilder fight, sorry, my mind went blank there for a minute. Since the second Fury Wilder fight, just after the fight, Wilder did come out with a lot of excuses, with the main excuse being about the £40 ring suit or whatever concoction he wore to the ring, which is yeah, I'm sure we all know what that is. It's a load of crap. But now, after the fight, months after, it seems like it's taken some time to reflect, and he doesn't seem to be coming out with those type of silly excuses again, as it seems like recently in his interviews he's talking a lot more sense, which is quite strange for Deontay Wilder. So we could be seeing the new side of Wilder, where he's taking a lot more rim. As you probably know, he's been listening to George Foreman, and he's been talking to George Foreman, who's came out and said Wilder can beat Fury, and he's talking to Foreman about the potential ways to beat him. I think one of the things Foreman said he can teach him is ways to strengthen his body, which potentially could help. Whereas before, Wilder's had a lot of offers from other people to help him, but it seems like he's just content with keeping the team he's got and staying with the advice of his team or his trainers, JD's, Mark Breland. Is there one more? There might be one more there, but beats the top of my head at the minute, if there is. But Wilder's also came out and said he's thinking of, well, he is getting two more new, not training, he said additions to the team. We don't know who those are yet. But so straight away, it seems to me that at this point now, Wilder's really starting to realise what he was doing previously isn't working. Because if it was working, he wouldn't be getting new trainers in. As the saying goes, you don't broke what's not fixed. What? No, you don't fix what's not broke, sorry. So Wilder's clearly starting to get an understanding that what he's doing is incorrect, which is for me a step in the right direction. If he is going to go into the trilogy fight with Fury, as most people think, he's got to make a change, because I'm not saying JD's and Breland aren't the people to take him there. well, personally, I prefer Breland more. I don't really think JD's is the best, in my opinion. But I'm not saying they're not the people to take him to victory. But Wilder clearly needs to change stuff up. And like we've seen in the last fight with Fury changed things up by bringing in Javon Sugarhill. And that potentially was the difference between him winning and losing, because he implemented different tactics that Wilder wasn't expecting. So I think Wilder, if he is going to go into the trilogy, needs to do the same thing, which it looks like he's doing. It looks like he's open to changing. He's also got this championship mentality at the minute, which is good and we like to see. I don't think it's him slamming Fury. I just think it's him putting his head into the right mindset for potentially the first time in a long while, which is a good thing, guys. But anyway, just a quick short video for you today on that. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.